JD's and Lenelman. That I saw that from somebody. Guys, the Game Award nominees are here. We know who's been nominated. The Game Awards are on November. They're not in November, they're in December. They're December something or other. But today we have the nominees. I want to go through and vote for them. Now, let me correct some things here because I have a bad habit of voting half the things I want to win and half the things I think should win and blah, 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 blah. So here are my rules for the 2024 Game Awards. I'm going to vote for what I want to win, and then I'm going to tell you what I think is going to win. That's how I'm going to organize this to make sure I have everything where I need it to be. But we're going to hop over to the reactions. I don't know how many of you guys have seen the nominees yet. If you haven't seen them, you're about to for the first time. If you have, let's discuss. I am just going to abstain from the esports categories. I vote for them every year, but honestly, dog, I don't have to. I got nothing for you. So, content creator of the year. I have to sign in, son of a. And we're back. So, content creator of the year is Queso. Oh God, Iluwan, Techno Gamers, Typical Gamers, and Usada Pecora. I am not familiar with this particular VTuber. I don't know either of these two guys. So it's really between Queso and Typical Gamer. And if I'm being totally honest this year, guys, it's Queso. Guys, it's Queso, right? Like, come on. Danny isn't in content creator of the year. It's rigged. Listen, I'll tell you this. And like, there's no reason whatsoever that I should have expected it. But like, for some reason, it was like content creator of the year are, and I was like, what if I showed up? Wouldn't that be cool? I didn't. But listen, all I'm saying is next year, it's a possibility. Just make sure you like, comment, and subscribe in this video. Tell me what you're voting for. Leave the like, etc., etc. And maybe next year, 2025, CGDannyB. We'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Oh, okay. I don't think this was announced today. Most anticipated game: Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yotai, Grand Theft Auto 6, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, and then Monster Hunter Wilds. I'll be real with you guys. This one's kind of tough, because it's between Ghost of Yotai and Monster Hunter Wilds for my vote. And if I genuinely think about it, I think I'm gonna get way more hours and excitement out of Monster Hunter than I will Ghost of Yotai, but I'm still excited for that. That being said, I'm voting for Monster Hunter Wilds because I can't wait to play that. I think GTA runs away with this. All right, best adaptation. So this is basically what's the best TV show that we got from a video game. We have Arcane, Fallout, Knuckles, Like a Dragon, Yakuza, which I actually didn't know was out yet. I saw trailers, I didn't think it was out, so I have no idea. And then Tomb Raider, Legend of Lara Croft. I've watched the first 4 episodes of Arcane. I am loving it. It's so good. I'm really enjoying Arcane. Knuckles, I thought was 30% great, but it ended up becoming, is it Wayne? Will? What's the guy's name? Whatever the dude's name was, it became a him show with a little bit of Knuckles on the side, which I'm like, man, I really wanted more Knuckles in this. I can't speak to the other two because I haven't watched them, but Fallout was kind of fire, guys. Like, Fallout had no reason being as good as it was. Yeah, so Fallout, that's getting my vote. I think I'm voting for Fallout. I think Fallout wins. Seeing Legend of Lara Croft. Did you see that one? Did you like it? So the only thing I saw about Legend of Lara Croft is like grown-ass men being like, uh-oh, Lara Croft look like, man, this show bad. And that's just people who haven't touched grass in like 14 years, but best multiplayer game is Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Mario Party Jamboree, Tekken 8, and then Warhammer 40K Space Marines 2. I've heard mixed things with Black Ops. I feel like some people love it, some people hate it, but that's also just Call of Duty as a whole. We played a little bit of Mario Party Jamboree at Extra Life, and I had a decent enough time with it, but I think the Mario Party formula is getting stale enough where I just don't care like that anymore. Like, I didn't pick this one up, I only played it because Chris had it. Tekken 8, it's Tekken. You know, Tekken fans love it. Warhammer looks dope. I haven't gotten around to it. I just don't think I'll have the time to commit. But it also looks like Helldivers 2 walked so Warhammer could run. But I still think all the time I put into Helldivers this year, like, I think if it's not nominated for Game of the Year, but I think multiplayer goes to Helldivers. So I'm voting Helldivers. I think Helldivers takes it, but I could also see that just going to Call of Duty, just because it's Call of Duty. So best sports racing game, we got F1 24, EA Sports Football Club 25, NBA 2K25, Top Spin 2K25, and WWE 2K24. I have no leg to stand on. This is not my field. This is not my world. This is not the life that I live. But I will say, if I had to vote for one, because I like wrestling these days, I'm giving it to WWE. And that's just because I think it's cool. But I think the vote's probably going to go to NBA, if I had to guess. Those FIFA heads, they do be coming out in droves, so maybe. Best Sim strategy games. So we have Age of Mythology Retold, Frostpunk 2, Kinitsugami, Path of the Goddess, Manor Lords, and Unicorn Overlord. I have not touched any of these games. I know people love their Frostpunk. I know people have been loving Manor Lords. I also know people have been loving Unicorn Overlords, so like maybe that's the way to go. I think the indie guy in me is gonna vote Manor Lords. Ooh, but Frostpunk. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch your tiger by his tail. If you house, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. My mother said you pick the very best one, and you are it. Yeah, okay, we're rocking it. I'm gonna vote Manor Lords. I could see Frostpunk pulling this one out, but I could also see Unicorn Overlord. So I vote Manor Lords, but let's say either Frostpunk or Unicorn take it. Best family game, the category that I still to this day don't think makes any sense, and I think could totally be like restructured somehow. But best family game, we have Astrobot, Princess Peach Showtime, Super Mario Party Jamboree, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and then The Plucky Squire. Here's why I have a problem with the best family category is because like, I look at this, I'm someone, I don't have a wife and kids. I don't sit around and play games. Like I play games on Discord with my friends. None of these give me, I can't wait to sit down with my family and play aside from Super Mario Party. That being said, if I'm going in this list of 5, which game is the best? It's Astrobot, bar none, easily. Astrobot was definitely the best game of these 5. I want to give my props to Plucky Squire, but I think in a world where Astrobot's right there, I'm giving it to Astrobot. I'm two minds of this. Either I'm totally on the right side of history and it goes to Astrobot, or it goes to Mario Party. That's kind of where I'm at with it. I see the Plucky Squire probably going to be Astro or Super Mario. Yeah. Best fighting game, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, Arcade Collection. Jesus, what the fuck are these titles, dog? Multiverses and Tekken 8. I'm also not the fighting guy. I couldn't tell you anything about it. I don't know. Like none of these are in my wheelhouse. I played enough Multiverses to probably like that might be my vote, even though I know a lot of people just kind of fell off and don't really play it like that. But I'm gonna go Multiverses. I see a world where it goes to Sparking Zero, but I think I see more of a world where it goes to Tekken 8. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, please win. It could. It might. Like it had gas, but I think like the tank ran dry pretty quick. And I think, and this is not necessarily a Sparking Zero problem. I just think fighting games, period. I think a lot of people hop into them because you're like, oh, awesome, I can't wait to play through a cool fighting game story. And then when you're done with the story, you have the online that's left. And when you get trashed by people who know what they're doing, it's just not fun anymore, so you put the game down. I think Dragon Ball Z has a different case with that because it is an anime first and then a game franchise second, third, however you want to down the list. But I think a lot of people got into it, enjoyed the story, and then when they went to play online, they're just like, oh, these people know life this game, I can't win, and then fell off. So now there's a very like minute group of people who are still playing because they get to sweat against each other. So what you gonna do? But now we're on to best RPG. We've got Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and Metaphor ReFantazio. I have not touched any of these games this year. I probably should have prefaced up front, I've been playing a lot of indie games this year. Most of them aren't in here. They're not in here. So what are we gonna do? In my heart of hearts, looking at this list, 2 of these games are sitting behind me in a bag that's marked for Christmas that I haven't touched yet. And that's Metaphor and Final Fantasy. Based on the love that I'm seeing on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all the love for Metaphor, I think Metaphor takes this and it's getting my vote. I'm hesitant because I could see Elden Ring pulling it out, but I also see the amount of people complaining about it's DLC, it shouldn't count as a da-da-da-da-da. We'll get to that then. Trust me, we'll get to that then. Yeah, Metaphor I think is getting my vote, and I think Elden Ring could win, but I'm hoping in both ways it's Metaphor. Best action adventure, we got Astrobot, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, and Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I haven't played it, so I'm not entirely sure. I'm a little shocked that Star Wars is here because I don't think I saw many people, if any, very positive on this one. I think there's definitely a lot of other action adventure games that could have taken this spot that didn't, which is very strange to me. I have not played Echoes of Wisdom. I see Lady Winchester saying it was bomb. I struggle with Nintendo these years. I like never get them done. I'll play for like an hour, maybe. I think I put like 10 hours into Tears of the Kingdom before I just shelved it. I'm like, I don't have time for Nintendo stuff sometimes. I just don't have the bandwidth. Silent Hill, not my cup of tea, so I'm not gonna way. I haven't played Prince of Persia yet, but like this game looks fire and I've heard nothing but good stuff about it, except that Ubisoft closed the studio because why make good things that people love when it didn't make a bunch of money? Ubisoft, you're literally hanging on by just the Far Cry thread. If you tell me you're stopping Far Cry, you mean nothing to me anymore. I need you to understand that. Yeah, so I'm between Prince of Persia and Astrobot, and again, I've only played one of these, so I'm giving it to Astrobot. I think if there's a spot for Prince of Persia to get its flowers, it's here. So I could see Prince of Persia winning this. I'm voting Astrobot. Best action game. We got Black Myth Wukong, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, and Warhammer. I think I'm going to roll out Call of Duty. I'm going to roll out Helldivers. I'm going to roll out... Ooh, no, I'm not. I'm going to roll out Call of Duty. I'm going to roll out Helldivers. I think if those guys are winning, they're winning other categories. Because I think if we're talking best multiplayer, and I said that goes to Helldivers, I think Warhammer could win here. But I think this is also... I think Black Myth Wukong's only nominated twice, I think. This and then Game of the Year. I'm going to vote Black Myth Wukong. Because for someone who hates Souls-likes, like, I loved this game. I would love to see it win here. I also know Stellar Blade was another one people loved this year, and I could see that taking it. So I'm going to go Black Myth, and I think, if anything, it's a spot for one of these two, Stellar Blade or Warhammer. If I have to pick one, I'm going to go with Warhammer. I think Warhammer takes this one, if not Black Myth Wukong, but it'd be cool if Stellar Blade got it. All right, best VR/AR. We've got Arizona Sunshine Remake, Asgard's Wrath 2, Batman Arkham Shadows, Metal Hellsinger VR, and Metro Awakening. I couldn't tell you that I've used my VR in the last, like, 5 years. I haven't played any of these. Is he Batman hands down? Maybe, but, like, also, maybe not. Because I feel like the whole thing is, like, they announced a new Batman Arkham game, and everyone's like, yes, like, in VR, and then everyone lost their minds. There's like, that's stupid. Why would you put it in VR? No one's gonna play it in VR. And I've genuinely heard nobody speak on the actual game coming out, but it is also Batman. So, like, if I had to guess, based on name recognition, I'm going to say Batman probably takes it, but mine's going to Metal Hellsinger because I like Metal Hellsinger. I still have to, like, play through it, but I played enough. I think this game's dope. It's a Doom shooter, but you have to, like, fight to the rhythm of heavy metal music, and it's really cool. And I think that in VR is probably super jarring, but probably really fun. On to the next, we've got Best Mobile Game with AFK Journey, Balatro, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, Wuthering Waves, I'm not sure, and Zenless Zone Zero. There's a point in this year where I would have guaranteed you this was going to be Zenless Zone Zero. I put so many hours in this the first week. Like, I love this game. And then I got really bored of it, like, really fast. And the only thing, like, keeping it on my radar is the fact that every new character just has a fat, juicy dumpski. And, like, that's cool and all, but it's not enough to get me back into the game or to spend money on it. I have no idea what Wuthering Waves is. So I'm between AFK Journey, Balatro, and Pokemon Trading Card Game. I want this to be Balatro, because I'm afraid in the other, the one other category that it's in, being Game of the Year, I don't think it takes that just because it's an indie game and, like, that never happens. Like, but I want it to. But I think Pokemon's gonna take this. Just the amount of serotonin you get from opening packs and then doing the matches. I'm seeing all the memes online of, like, people doing cool art of, like, the meta of different things. They have, like, Misty with all the Pokemon, like the water Pokemon you have to stack water energy on. They have Mewtwo with the 2 Gardevoirs. They have Pikachu in the front, which is 3 badass electric types behind because it's the EX card that does damage based on how many Pokemon on your bench. Like, it's pretty cool that, like, it's popping off this way. So I think Pokemon might take it here. I'm gonna vote for Balatro, but I think this is going to Pokemon. Oh, team. This is where things get wild. This is where things get hurt. Best debut indie game. Animal, Balatro, Manor Lords, Pacific Drive, and The Plucky Squire. Pray for me. Pray for me. So, where do we even start? So I haven't played Manor Lords. I know people are loving it, but I haven't touched it. I think it's on Game Pass still. Pacific Drive is like one of the first games I played this year for review, but I really wasn't feeling it. The Plucky Squire is the game that this year I was like, that's my game this year. That's the game I'm most looking forward to. In the nicest way possible, was kind of disappointed with it. I didn't hate it. Like, I did enjoy Plucky Squire, but I do think there were just levels of things that really drug it down. The biggest one being the narrative, because I explained this on the podcast. The way Plucky Squire feels is like watching an episode of Dora, where Dora's talking to the kid, right? Like, hey, what's going on back there? And, like, you're seeing what's going on, and the kid is yelling at the TV, like, Dora, it's this, it's a thing, and like, you're telling Dora what's happening, and she's like, what's that? Oh, and there's these pauses of people talking, and like, when I want to just play the game and just keep moving forward, I can't do that because the game pauses me every 5 minutes to do dialogue, which the cutscenes themselves are great. I don't mind those. But the ones where I'm just staring at the same scene or my character's just, like, looking forward, like waiting for the dialogue to stop, those really did drag down the experience for me, like, a lot. It sucks that Plucky Squire did not hit for me. I wanted it to. Still liked it. Still liked the game. But I'll be honest, I don't even know if it makes my top 10 for the year. It might be an honorable mention, but we have to see. Which leaves me with Animal Well and Balatro. You guys watched me play Animal Well, and that got me a little pissed mainly because I went to an area I probably wasn't supposed to yet, and like it really frustrated me, but I finally beat it. And then Balatro is Balatro. I'm sure I'm going to vote for Balatro in other places. So I think this is the spot I have to give it to Animal Well. So I'm going to give Animal Well this vote for best debut. Not gonna lie, my vote's also for Plucky Squire. Actually, yeah, I may need to rethink it a bit more just to be sure. Yeah, no, 100%. And like, I don't want anyone to think this is me telling you what to vote for, not to. And honestly, at the end of the day, our votes really probably don't give like a damn for nothing, because like this all goes to the outlets. We're voting for the fun and the sake of saying we did it. But like now, best independent game. We've got Animal Well, Balatro, Lorelei and the Laser Eye, Neva, and UFO 50. I haven't played Lorelei, which sucks because I hear great things. Although I'm hearing it's a little challenging. I Janet Garcia on Blue Sky was saying how like challenging the puzzles are. I'm like, oh, interesting, weird. UFO 50 is a weird one for me because like I don't hate it. I just got a key for it. I've been playing it a little bit, and though like there's nothing wrong with the game, I'm not seeing this universal love for it. For anyone who has no idea, it's basically one of those collection games where like you just have like 50 games to play, and they're all like these retro inspired games. So if you ever think of one of those like classic Walmart joystick ones where it's just like the AV, you plug it in the TV, you got the thumbstick and like the two buttons, like that's what it is. It's just a bunch of games, and there's nothing wrong with that. And maybe I'm just not far enough into it to really see the love, but I'm not seeing it. I don't understand. So like someone might have to be like, Danny, it's this. Once you beat like level 15 and unlock this, you'll get it. But right now I don't see it. So that leaves me with Neva, Balatro, Animal Well. I just voted for Animal Well, so I'm probably not gonna do that again. So now I'm between Balatro and Neva. And as I'm planning my list for like the top 10 games of 2024, I know on my personal list, spoiler alert, Neva is above Balatro for me. So I am voting for Neva because this game is beautiful and lovely and incredible, and I highly recommend it. If you like dogs, if you like fighting stuff with pretty art, Neva. I'm gonna go Neva. I think this one, man, those UFO 50 freaks are out there. It could win, but I think this one might go to Balatro as well. I think Balatro could take this one. Best community support. So we got Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's Sky. I feel like this is so hard to not vote for No Man's Sky because I don't think there's a time where they've put this game down since they launched it, because they're always updating it. Helldivers is a weird one where I think like they totally would have won this, and then what, they like nerfed a bunch of weapons and people got pissy. Fortnite's Fortnite, but yeah. Final Fantasy 14 is not one I could speak on, but people love it. And then Baldur's Gate 3 is Baldur's Gate 3. I see Lady Winchester be like, Baldur's Gate. See, in my head, what I'm trying to establish is like when I'm going on social media, I'm seeing them say, hey guys, servers are down, we're fixing this. Hey guys, just so everybody knows, this is coming out next week. Like I'm seeing those constant like posts to the community support section. And I think I want to give that to either Helldivers or Baldur's Gate. So I think because Baldur's Gate cleaned up last year, and I'm sure they already have a shelf full of Game Award trophies, I think I'm going to give this one to Helldivers. Even though I think at the latter half, we got a little bit, people got a little upset with them. I'm going to go with Helldivers. But I think Baldur's Gate takes this one. Best ongoing game. So basically, what's the game people wouldn't put down? We've got Destiny 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Helldivers 2. This is one where I think it's tough to say best ongoing game for Helldivers when I don't know that it holds that honor at this moment. We're like, everyone was playing it earlier this year, and then it kind of died out, and like less people are talking about it, less people are playing it. Like the democracy thing's not really there. I don't know if Helldivers earned the honor yet. We'll have to see based on next year. Final Fantasy's also there. Diablo, was that that was last year, yeah? Or was that this year? I think Diablo came out last year, so in the running. Destiny 2, honestly, I don't think I've heard like anything since, what was it? The Last Circle? Is that what the DLC? But yeah, honestly, I think I'm gonna vote Fortnite, and I'm gonna think Fortnite takes it. Next up, we have games for impacts. We're looking at Closer to the Distance, Indica, Neva, Life is Strange, Double Exposure, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, and Tales of Kenzera Zao. I have played 2.5 of these games. I haven't played Indica, I haven't played Close to the Distance, I haven't played Hellblade. I love Neva, I love Tales of Kenzera. Life is Strange, I'm very much enjoying right now, but we only finished chapter 2 as of like this recording, which we should be finishing hopefully by this weekend. Because I don't think it was nominated for anything else, and I really love this game this year, I'm gonna go with Tales of Kenzera for my vote. I think with how niche some of these games are, I think by popularity, it is going to go to Life is Strange or Hellblade. One of these is going to win, but I'm going to go Tales of Kenzera. Mouthwasher. Yes, I'm excited to play it. I haven't played it yet, so. Innovation and accessibility. Here's something I really would like for this category, because this is such a, if you haven't played the game with the accessibility options on, this is such a, I don't know what these games did. because I haven't played Dragon Age yet. I actually haven't played any of these games. All 5 of these I've not touched. But like, I think back to the year when we saw like Forza Horizon 4, I think, and they added like sign language to the game, so you could like see that while you can't read or talk, whatever. I'm like, that was really cool. I don't know what any of these games did for accessibility, so I can't say like, yes, I vote for this one because it did this and the other. So I really have nothing to stand on. So really, I think just because I'm where I want to be, I'm just going to vote. I'm going to go Dragon Age because I'm really excited to play that one, just because it makes the big white men cry. And I'll just say Diablo's going to take it. I have no reason to think one way or the other. Why does Call of Duty keep popping up? Because it's Call of Duty, baby. It's Call of Duty, man. That's what everybody's playing. Call of Duty. Best performance. We have Brianna White from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We have Hannah Tell from Life is Strange Double Exposure. We have Heberly Gonzalez from Star Wars Outlaws. We have Luke Roberts from Silent Hill 2. And we have Melina Juergens from Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. I love Melina. I loved her in the first game. I'm sure she killed it again in the second one. Man, this is the weird thing with the Game Awards and being like, cool, I played all the indies this year. I didn't touch these AAAs. Who does Brianna play? Is she Tifa? No, she's Aerith. Okay. I'm voting Melina because we stand her. We love her. I'm going to assume this is going to go to Final Fantasy or Life is Strange. That's my guess. I think those are one of the two that take it. Best sound design. We got Astrobot, Call of Duty, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. Once again, I've played one of these games. I think it's honestly, pause. I think it's really funny how my gaming habits have changed. When I used to play like every game on here, I could have a word on. And this is the first year that like, I really got nothing for most of these. Like, I'm going from the outside looking in, hearing the audiences talk on it, which like someone out there's like, well, this guy didn't even play the games. How can he vote? Shut up. No one fucking asked you. This is my YouTube channel. Let me talk about games. Sucker. I played Astrobot. I platinum Astrobot. I love the sound design with that. And it's another weird thing to define like the audio design by the controller as well. But like the way the controller vibrates, that adds this like tactile audio for it when you're like pulling on like a slingshot or something. You hear like the rubber going off, but then it vibrates in a way that sounds like rubber, which is so hard to explain when you're not holding the controller, but like, it's really great. So I'm going Astrobot. Honestly, I think Hellblade could probably take it just because they're known for their crazy audio. So I'll say Hellblade wins, but I'm voting Astrobot. Best score in music, Metaphor. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. I've seen nothing but the Metaphor combat music, and that's just Atlas. Atlas just does combat music the way they do, dog. So I'm voting Metaphor. I'm going to assume Metaphor takes it. All right, we've got 6 categories left. We got Best Art Direction. We're looking at Astrobot, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, Metaphor, ReFantazio, and Neva. For me, when it comes to art direction, I prefer something with like a distinct style. I think there's something about being like, hey, we have hyper-realistic visuals that really makes us like look pretty, but I don't think it necessarily equates to like this game has a super distinct art style or art direction, you know? So I think Astrobot has that. I think Metaphor has that. I think Neva has that. Though I think the worlds and the different stylistic choices for Elden Ring and Black Myth are like very unique in their ways. I still think I'd rather go any of the other 3. And I'm thinking Neva is my vote. Metaphor will win. I think that's where my head's at. So Neva gets my vote. I think Metaphor is going to take it. All right, home stretch team. We got this and 5 more, or does this count as 5 more? I don't know. Best narrative. We're talking Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Metaphor, ReFantazio, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. Again, all the games I haven't touched. I'm just keep showing Atlas love. I'm going to say Metaphor and Metaphor. Vote Metaphor, hope Metaphor wins. Best game directions. This is always one I kind of got to like double back and really just think on for a second. So, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. So, honestly, without a doubt, I should read the nominees. Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor, ReFantazio. Just reading game direction, it's Balatro. I think though the rest of these all do great things, I think they're still so familiar in the where it's Souls-like formula. It's a 3D platformer. It's a action RPG. Like they're very like, oh, I've been here, done this. I think Balatro is the one that's like, hey, do you want to play a roguelike that's poker? And like, though I'm sure that might exist some way, shape, or form, no one's done it like Balatro on this big of a scale. Like Balatro is it. Balatro is the one. Like game direction, I'm voting Balatro, and I think this goes to Balatro. All right, so the reason we're missing is because we didn't do the esports. So we are at the last one. So we are at Game of the Year, which is Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor ReFantazio. I knew from the beginning of the year Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was going to be nominated. In no way, shape, or form, again, as someone who hasn't touched the game yet, it's in a bag for Christmas. I don't think this wins. I think there's a lot of Final Fantasy fans out there. I think they're going to love it. Like, I think they show their love for this franchise, but I don't think Final Fantasy takes this one. I am insanely excited to see Black Myth nominated after seeing everyone on the planet. Like, it's not going to get nominated. It's not good enough. No one's going to nominate it. Blah, 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 blah. It won't happen. I'm so excited to see it nominated because it's well-deserved. That being said, I don't think it wins either. And being one of the two Souls games that I love this year, and it is baffling to me that Another Crab's Treasure was not nominated for anything, because what the hell? I'll go for the other elephant in the room with Elden Ring. So right now, as of recording this, Twitter, Blue Sky, whatever, they're all blowing up with, hey, why is Elden Ring nominated when it's not a full game, it's a DLC? It shouldn't be nominated for Game of the Year. Though I am a huge proponent for having a DLC category for the best DLC expansion, etc., etc. And I don't really enjoy Elden Ring like that. I see the love, but not for me. I'm good. I'm not mad that it's nominated here. Though I see a world where it wins, I also see the world where it doesn't. I don't think Elden Ring takes this. I think the biggest complaint will be, honestly, I can see the argument from all gamers. We're gonna have two minds of this. Either it wins like, that's not fair, it shouldn't have won. Or it loses, be like, great, something else could have won, it could have been nominated, but you wasted a spot on DLC. And that's just how gamers are. I'm not mad about it. Again, I don't think it wins, but cool. It's a big thing. People loved it this year, so. So these are with Balatro, Astrobot, and Metaphor ReFantazio. I think, and someone might have to correct me if I'm wrong, they might have to pull up like the last like 10 years of winners. I don't know how often JRPGs win Game of the Year. I think they're like niche enough that the masses don't necessarily think they'll win. They're longer, how many people finish them, etc., etc. But at the same time, like, Atlas fans are out there, dog. Atlas fans are doing the damn thing. So I think Metaphor could win, but I don't know that it will. I'm gonna hold off on Metaphor. Let's come back to it. Let's come back to it. Balatro. I'm telling you this. I'm voting for Balatro. I think Balatro was like our first indie banger this year. I think it does a unique thing that makes it stand out from everything else on this list. The same thing I said for game direction, where we're like, hey, these games are here. We love them. They're great. They're high quality, but they are so similar to other things that we've played. Even if they make improvements, they do things better than others. They are so familiar. Balatro is not familiar. It is a very unique thing compared to these other games. My vote's going to Balatro. Easy. That being said, it's an indie game. I think a lot of people wrote in with it to be like, yeah, people love it, but I don't think it wins. As much as I want it to, I don't think it wins. Which leaves Metaphor ReFantazio and Astrobot. I think the world around Astrobot is so beloved because of its history and IP with PlayStation. When you're talking about playing through this game and seeing Kratos and the cast of God of War, you're seeing Uncharted, you're seeing Horizon, you're seeing Ghost of Tsushima, you're seeing classic PS1, 2, and 3 games come in and be like, oh my god, I'm seeing all these things in little cute Astrobot format. Like, Astrobot is the new Sackboy in like the best way possible. Where like Sackboy's whole thing was you'd buy these skin packs and like, I can play Little Big Planet with all these different PlayStation IPs, right? And I think Astrobot takes it to a brand new level where they have the support of like the power of the PlayStation 5 along with the IP history that they have, which for some reason we're just not using. Sony, what are we doing, brother? You have these IPs, use them, damn it. So genuinely, I think Astrobot takes Game of the Year. If not Astrobot, Metaphor ReFantazio. But I am voting for Balatro because I love it. I think it deserves it. But I see the world going Astrobot, and if not Astrobot, Metaphor. That's what I think is going on. Oh, but that's the conversation, baby. That was Game of the Year. Let me see. Medic. I think Astrobot, Wukong, or Balatro. Yeah, I think those are three good picks. I don't think there's the bad winner here. I think there's controversy when we look at Elden Ring and how that's going to go if it wins. But otherwise, the only thing is I'm going to see people, you know what? Actually, shut my mouth. People are going to complain either way. Black Myth, well, Elden Ring was right there. You should have had the better Souls-like. Balatro, I've never even played that game. Astrobot, that's game for kids. How'd that win Game of the Year? Final Fantasy, your remake shouldn't count for Game of the Year. metaphor. I never even heard of that game. What's this JRPG? Pick a real game. We don't win. We don't win because gamers like to whine and cry. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Game Award nomination for this year. Let me know who you voted for, what you want to see Game of the Year, and we'll be reacting live. When's the Game Awards? December 12th, we'll be live on twitch.tv/CGDannyB doing all of these reactions. Going to be watching the show, seeing the awards, seeing the announcements, etc., and having a good time. But yeah, thank you guys. If you want to hang out, twitch.tv/CGDannyB, come catch some streams, and like, comment, subscribe. Mwah!